Hola, buenos dias. I hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend. And again, I apologize that I wasn't able to be present today for class. However, I do have a lesson today for you. I wanted to go over the homework, a brief review of what we did last week, because I know it was something not brand new because we'd already gone over verbs, but just new ideas and so on. If you remember, if you checked your email rather, and saw the homework assignment, you will notice that part A was just a pronunciation little drill, something that you can do on your own. I won't go over that since there are already links to a video clip with me pronouncing the letter or the words. So make sure you practice those, check those out. Part B is when we talked about when to use which verb, ser or estar. So the example I gave was nosotros somos o estamos en el gimnasio. The answer was, of course, nosotros estamos en el gimnasio. And the reason that it's estamos and not somos is because we're talking about location. Again, remember the general difference between ser and estar is that ser is for more permanent things like origin, physical or personality characteristics. We use it for other things. We'll get to those in the near future. We use it for telling time, things like that. But estar we use for more transient things, more changing things like condition. Condition includes things like sick, broken, sad, just the condition of something at that moment, not its inherent or intrinsic qualities, rather. So, of course, that's the example that I gave, and that's the reason. So I'll just go through and quickly give you the answers for part B. We have number 1, Marta y yo somos de Morocco. And the reason that it's somos and not estamos is that we're talking about origin. Somos. Número 2, number 2. Mi abuelo está en la biblioteca. My grandfather is in the library. And so we're talking about location, where he is right now. So we use está from the verb estar. Número 3. Los chicos están muy cansados. The boys or the kids are very tired. Right? Estar, because we're talking about a condition. Número 4. Let me put my hand over here. Whoop. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to this webcam thing. Número 4. Yo soy estudiante. Now, I know that one might throw you off a little bit because you say, I'm not going to always be a student. When we're talking about things that are like profession, religion, so we would consider student a profession. So that's why we say yo soy estudiante. Número 5. Vosotras sois interesantes. You know, this is if you're saying you all are interesting. I'm just letting you know that you're interesting people, right? Sois interesantes. That's the first option. Número 6, the last one for part B. Tú estás en Tennessee, pero eres de California. So I have 2 there, and that's to show the difference, right? The more picky about showing the difference, rather more subtle differences. So we have tú estás en Tennessee. You are in Tennessee. That's where you are right now, whether that's where you live or you're just visiting or whatnot. Pero, which means but, eres de California. That's to show that origin, right? You are from California. So hopefully that sheds a little bit of light on the difference. Parte C, part C. Fill in the correct conjugation of the indicated verbs for each blank. Example, Lola, and then we have the verb vivir, en Canada. So the answer is Lola vive en Canada. And so what I wanted you to do was to show me which is the correct conjugation for this verb. For the subject, Lola, right? So we'll start with number 1. Juana, the verb caminar, a la iglesia. So the sentence should read, Juana camina a la iglesia. And we're using that third person singular. So if you recall, we use on the chart, not the first person singular on the left-hand side, not that first left-hand box, top left box, not the left-hand box in the middle, but the bottom left box, right? That's the third person. Because if we were to replace that with a pronoun, if we were to replace Juana with a pronoun, we would use which verb? We would use ella, she, right? This is kind of weird doing without you all actually being there, so work with me here. Número 2. Tú lees tú lees el libro en la escuela. So that's L-E-E-S, right? Tú lees el libro en la escuela. You read the book in the school. Lees, that's on the left-hand side of the chart. If we were to conjugate the whole entire verb, the left-hand side of the chart, the middle one. So the middle left. Because that's tú, right? That's the pronoun that we're using for you. Número 3. Los profesores escriben en la oficina. The professors write in the office, right? E-S-C-R-I-V-E-N. The professors write in the office. And that's the right-hand side, the plural side, right? On the bottom box, bottom right box. Número 4. Número 4 is ustedes viven en una casa grande. You all live in a large house. Viven, the same thing. That goes the same box that the previous one went in, the bottom right-hand box. Because it's third person. Ustedes, that pronoun fits in that box. So, viven, V-I-V-E-N. Número 5. Nosotros bailamos en la calle. We dance in the street. Bailamos, that's the right-hand top box, top right box. Bailamos, we dance. Now you could take off the en la calle, right? And that would still be a complete sentence. You have the subject, nosotros, and the noun. The verb. Bailar. Nosotros bailamos. We dance. That'd be a complete sentence in English, right? And in Spanish. Número 6. Number 6. Ella come mucho. C-O-M-E. Looks like the English word come. And it's ella come mucho. She eats a lot. Part D. This one I knew was going to be a little bit trickier, but I want to get you stretching out there. I know maybe sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know where to start with this. But it's good to just go ahead and try. Just start out there. So there wasn't an exactly correct answer for each of these. Because you could take the words, the parts of speech that are given in each of the example or each of the numbers and come up with your own sentence, right? So the first one, it says, and the instructions are, use the following parts of speech to form a sentence. Look up new words in a Spanish or English or Spanish to English dictionary or online, right? Because I put some words in here that you may not be familiar with. Some of you may be familiar with. But because we only meet once a week, it's good to use, to go out and learn new words, on your own. Because I'm not just going to give you a list of vocabulary words. Sometimes I think that's one of the worst things that teachers can do. Not one of the worst, okay, but just to learn words out of context can really, throw you off. It's just memorization, and then, you have no connection with it. So definitely look up new words and continue to try to read things that you see in Spanish, and I can't stress enough, watch Spanish TV even though you don't understand anything that's going on. I promise you it will help out in the long run. Listening to Spanish radio and so on. Okay, so the example that I give is the words that I have are yo, trabajar, and oficina. So one possible answer that you could put, yo trabajo en la oficina. So you notice what I did was I conjugated the verb trabajar to work, to fit yo. So I changed it to yo trabajo, right? And then I put, so that's the subject and the verb. And then I just threw in the preposition en, which means in or on, right? But in this case. I threw in the direct or the definite article la oficina. So I work in the office. That's a direct translation of that sentence that I wrote right there on that example. So I know that you all have different things, but we'll just go through and quickly, say one possible answer for each of them. Number one, mis amigos. We know that this first part would be buscan, right? buscan. Mis amigos buscan, because that would be on the bottom right hand box. If we were to put a pronoun with mis amigos, that would be ellos, right? They. My friends, I'm telling a story, I would say my friends such and such, they are looking for, they found, so that would be ellos, bottom right hand corner of the box, right? Mis amigos buscan. You might say un restaurante bueno. My friends are looking for a good restaurant. So that verb buscar means to look for. Mis amigos buscan un restaurante bueno. My friends are looking for a good restaurant, right? Número dos. La pluma está en el escritorio. Maybe. The pen is on the desk. O puedes decir, you could say, la pluma está debajo del escritorio. Is beneath the desk, right? O la pluma está encima de el escritorio. Maybe. So just some different prepositions that you might have used, right? Finishing up quickly. Número tres. You could say yo soy de Argentina. I am from Argentina. O yo no soy de Argentina. I am not from, right? Some possibilities. Número cuatro. Nosotros corremos por la calle. We run through the street. O nosotros corremos a la calle. Nosotros corremos de la calle. Some possibilities here we're working with, right? Don't get confused. Or if you do feel confused, don't worry. Don't stress about it. Okay, número 5, last one. Ella canta a su madre. She sings to her mother, maybe. O ella canta para su madre. Whatever you came up with, I'm sure it was a good attempt, and that's a great job. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about will be the new lesson for this week. While we're on verbs and talking about verbs, I know that you all might have questions, and so I don't want to do too much in this lesson while I'm not there to really clarify if you have a particular question, but I do want to introduce new things to you. Just some things that you can be thinking about and working with as we prepare for next week. A review again. I'm going to pause this video and prepare for the second half of the lesson because that was just a review. So I will see you all in just a few moments.